31st episode of Beneath the Kotatsu. With me as always, my co-host I'm James.
Hello, everybody.
This week we wanted to, well, I in particular wanted something a little bit different. God's Family didn't really, it was okay, but it left me feeling extremely unsatisfied. I actually thought the show was gonna be completely different. I didn't expect it to be a romance. Honestly, the show came out in 2010. I saw like 5 minutes. I was like, man, I don't feel like watching this type of show. This was like, what, 12 years ago it came out? 10 years ago?
Wait, so you never finished this anime all the way through?
No, I only saw like 5 minutes, and then I was like, I'll wait for more episodes to come out, and I just forgot to watch it.
All right, so Tatami Galaxy is one of those animes that I watch, and then I looked at and I saw how high of a score it got, and I'm like, how does it have such a high score? It makes sense because it has really nice art and it has really good opening and ending, right? But it's one of those animes that you have to be really invested in.
You definitely have to rewatch it to catch a lot of the small stuff. This is like one of those shows, like for me, Evangelion was a show that I had to rewatch numerous times to catch a lot of the small stuff that I missed. I only saw this once, so I'm sure I missed a significant portion. I got the main gist of the show, though.
Yeah, I mean the main gist of the show makes sense. It's a pretty simple story. But the storytelling, I guess, is where the main part of the story is like the real meat of it, I guess. But it's hard to describe.
Well, I would say it's basically all it is they're going through parallel worlds with the main character. In each of these worlds, they're trying to have him, I guess, level up is one way to say it, but, expand into being a better person. He's basically every episode starts and ends the same way with the main character. Like, emotionally wise, he doesn't really grow up in each episode, I would say.
It felt like you've seen Groundhog Day, right?
Right, but this is each episode is over a 2-year period.
Yeah, but it
keeps on resetting because he doesn't change at all. Reset.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, he changes a little bit, but his character wise it changes, but the way he acts and thinks kind of
always the same until the ending.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
because throughout the whole thing, he's blaming Ozu. Ozu's basically this man, he looks really weird. Like, he has the shark. He looks like a Nintendo. There's a specific either Nintendo character or like a ghost character that looks similar. That's pale and has like blue lips, like some sort of weird looking Boo monster. And he's supposed to represent, the bad part of Watashi's life. The main character is not named, by the way. He's just Watashi is like me, is how he refers to himself.
Yeah.
And I would say that every time, obviously Ozu's there, he's not the reason why the main character is how he is. He's definitely, I guess the Kindle or the flint to the character going down that spiral of unsatisfaction.
Right. I don't know. Like, in general, let's just talk about in general. Would you actually recommend this anime to somebody?
It depends on the type of person, right? It's a little bit of a big brain anime, right?
As a general anime to recommend to somebody, would you recommend this anime?
It's situational. For me, I would rate it easily 7.5 out of 10 or higher, probably depending on how I feel when I rewatch it in the future eventually.
I feel like you need to rewatch it a couple of times, but
I'm not the type
of person. Yeah, I'm not the type of person that would watch specifically this anime multiple times.
Yeah, I can see what you mean, because it's just...
Yeah, you're basically watching the same thing, 11 episodes of the same thing. Like, he introduces the same characters, of course, there's the same storylines, they kind of move plots around, they move characters around to other roles, but you're basically seeing the same timeline played over and over again.
Exactly, that's the point.
Just with different characters in different situations. And for some people, I think they would find this very enjoyable. Like, if you enjoy types like the Monogatari series. This is definitely down your alley. This is the type of anime you would really like.
Or the
especially
Haruhi,
like
the
with wordplay.
repeating episodes, or ReZero, the repeating episodes.
But those have like smooth transitions. Like with Haruhi, that was a movie, wasn't it?
No, it was a series. But then they also
I
had
know,
a movie.
but wasn't the repeating days the movie?
Ooh, it's been so long time ago, I don't remember. I feel like I watched because remember for Haruhi they had chronological order and a chronological order to watch it, and it was aired a chronological, I believe, so it was bouncing around a lot. But yeah, I guess it was different. I think the movie was the one where it was repeating over and over again.
And then I think just the original show was just them just doing school stuff, and then basically she's a god, and then stuff just revolves around them perfectly or something like that. That's all I can remember of Haruhi. It's been so long since I've watched it.
Speaking of gods, didn't the first episode confuse you when the master,
whole thing confused me?
Yeah, like he straight up introduced himself as a god.
As a god
of matchmaking. Yeah. I was like, is he an actual god? And then it turns out he's just, another resident. Kind of like what's that movie with Ryan Reynolds where he's in college for like God knows like 8 years. I think it was like Waiting, or
don't remember
the one where they work basically at like a Bennigan's and they have flair and shit like that on their shirt.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
It was a really old one. I think it was called Waiting or something like that. But that's the type of character that the master reminded me, just carefree, doing his own thing. Obviously, this guy's a more refined. Ryan Reynolds' character was more of a brute and, pervert a little bit into the raunchy stuff.
Yeah, like, overall, like, okay, so the main topic of the story was that the main character wants to get with this girl, and the whole story is set around him not confessing to her. And eventually he confesses to her, and that's the end of that's literally the whole anime.
Well,
it's just
the end of each episode is the fortune teller telling him there's an opportunity dangling in front of your eyes. Please grab it. And by the way, I really love how she increases the price on the fortunes in each episode.
How much was it at the start, and how much was it at the end? I remember it went up to like 5 figures.
Yeah, like straight up incremented by 1,000 every episode. It's like on episode 9 it was like 9,000. I would imagine it was 1,000 on the first episode.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I'm very speechless about this anime. Like, I usually have a lot to say about like animes.
Yeah,
but when it
didn't meld with you.
It is just not. I did not vibe with it at all.
I vibed with it. I enjoyed it. It was very pleasant. I was relaxed.
I vibed with the opening and ending.
Yeah,
I never skipped them.
This is definitely an anime where I would only watch it during a rainy day, at the end of the day, like in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. Can't go to sleep. This is the type of anime to watch.
You're technically not watching it then. It's background noise for you to go to sleep to.
No, I would just be up watching it, concentrating solely on it.
I feel like, okay, you know the thing that made it so jarring for me to watch?
What?
Is that because each episode are so similar to each other, it's one of those animes that is really hard to watch back to back. I would say
it really is.
It would be a really good anime to watch weekly, but if you're watching it back to back, it feels like a blur. Like, I can't remember what happened from one episode to another episode because they just kind of blurred
Essentially,
together.
all it was, for the most part, each episode took place in a different club. For example, the first one was the cycling club he was in?
I think that was like the third episode where he gets his bicycle stolen. Is that the one you're referencing to?
Oh, that's right. That is the third episode. The first one was the tennis circle, the one where they introduce Ozu, the god.
No. Wasn't the first episode the film, the movie?
No, the second episode, Circle Misogi, okay. where they do the deviousness of going in and recording. What was his name? The leader of the club.
Masaki?
Jogasaki. Close enough, right?
Masaki Jogasaki. That's his full name.
But it turns out dude has a what was it, like a love doll, super dressed up.
Yeah, like a love.
Yeah,
like he and the reason why he has a love doll is because he's a germaphobe.
Is he a germaphobe, or was he just
He's
super perverted into girls? Like, because they showed him like having them do like a breast tryout, and he would record and feel it with his hands or something like that.
No, I think he's a germaphobe, and then he doesn't like, do you remember that one scene where like a girl touches him and then he has to like wash himself because he doesn't like to be touched.
I never caught on of him being a germaphobe. I just thought he was a pervert.
He's a super germaphobe, and he can't be with other girls. That's why he has a love doll instead of like an actual girl.
Well, he has like this whole rock wall in his room, and it's all breasts instead of the little rocks.
I don't know what that's about. I guess
he's a pervert. That's his whole thing, dude.
I think he just really likes boobs, but he's also a germaphobe. He had
the girls in the film club go topless and do tryouts, and he rated their breasts from.
He didn't rate them. He
rated them.
He was like showing like size versus like he
documented them. Then
he
documented just as a bug catcher puts his butterflies on his display with a little needle through them, or with the beetles. Yeah. He had like pictures of the breasts and stuff like that. I really like that character, and
I mean, he was. I felt like episode 2 was probably one of the funnier episodes, but after that, everything just felt like a blur. God, it just
not to me. They were very distinct. Like, for example, the first one was the tennis one. That's where they do like the Roman candles on the people in love. They're being like dark angels, like, they're devious. I think that was like the peak of the character being in his malaise, not wanting to.
It started where it ended with the same episode.
Speaking of starting where it ended, that's basically confirmed on the last episode where they start the episode 11 with the ending theme, and they end it with the opening theme. And they basically end where they were exactly in episode 1, except the character is enlightened.
Yeah,
because they basically brute forced him to change into a better person. I still don't get if say Taro Higuchi, the master, is a god or not. Like, I really don't know. Obviously there's somebody with power allowing him to Groundhog Day 2 years of fucking time.
So what I see in this anime is basically he's repeating 2 years over and over again.
Because he's not growing.
And in the, let's say he keeps repeating this 2-year loop. And eventually he's able to exit the loop on episode 11. But if he's not able to exit the loop on episode 11, it goes back to episode 1. So it the show is basically having you loop.
The way I understood is they kept on going through parallel worlds, one after another, trying to find which one would be the correct, to try to get them break through and finally.
It's not parallel world. It's he goes back worlds. In time after the 2 years ago, because at the end of each episode, that clock rewinds everything
exactly,
back.
But they're parallel worlds.
They're not parallel. They're the same world. It's just that he just goes back in time and then he does something different. He just tries something different.
It's literally parallel universes. Because remember in episode 11, he's breaking through other rooms. Those are the rooms of his other self in other universes, and he can't get out. They basically whatever is keeping him from.
Doc?
No, that's, taking back time is basically fuck, this guy doesn't change. I'm going to grab one and just, imprison him till, I guess through desperation and self-reflection, despair maybe, he becomes enlightened on his own time. And eventually he was, because he, finding little, cell phones, Ozu has a girlfriend, stuff like that. How come I don't have a girlfriend? Why the fuck does Ozu have a girlfriend?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those animes that's just all over the place for me. I know there's a theme and it's very thematic and stuff like that. The one thing that really
stood out to you?
It didn't really stood out to me. It's the one thing that made me that was very hard for me to watch one episode after the other. Is that they speak very fast.
Oh, dude, I had to press pause fast. A lot.
It's absurd.
Yeah. What was it? A 23-minute episode definitely turned into 30 minutes for me. Because hold on, what the fuck did they just say? They put the sub so fast. By the way, yeah, exactly. By the way, I watched this on Funimation. It's still up there. I think it's the only place you can stream it.
I was sweating. Be like, slow down. Holy Jesus, slow down.
Yeah, I was reclined with spacebar press. I was like, oh, let me catch that really quick. 1 second, play. And then all right,
like
go ahead.
If you miss a second of dialogue, you could miss up. You could literally
definitely. That's
miss
why I
like a
had
whole
to
plot
rewatch
point of a
episode
show.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, like I like animes where you don't have to put like 100% attention into watching it. Like that's why I like isekai fillers, because you can put like 50% attention to it, and you still will know what happened like at the end of the episode or whatever.
Yeah, but half of it is appreciating the plot. Like more than half of it. I mean, that's how I feel about anime. Feel like I can't play a game on the side or watch a movie or do something else at the same time.
Like for me, if it's an anime that I can chill and play a game at the same time, I will do it, because
Yeah,
but,
I can't
like
never do
unless
that,
I
even
really
for
enjoy it. Unless I really enjoy like an anime, like let's say Slime, I would never watch I would never play a game while watching Slime, because I'm so invested into Slime. Like if it's an anime I'm really invested in, and like especially the plot, I'll put my whole attention to it. But for Tatami Galaxy, it's the type of attention that was more of a headache, like because it wasn't like my attention wasn't focused on it because of how invested I was in the anime. It was because of how much plot and how much dialogue they were throwing at you, that it feels like they're just trying to jam so much information into your head that you do need to go back and rewatch the whole anime just to figure out what's going on half the time, because it is just so much content so fast and in your face so fast that it like I just felt like I was not enjoying the anime at all, like compared to like Slime or some other anime that is more actiony and stuff like that. Like I don't know if you felt the same, but that's how I felt.
I agree with that, because I watched the first episode twice. I felt like that's all I had to really rewatch. There's definitely a lot of confusion in the first episode for me. I really didn't know what was going on. I was like, hold on a second, are there gods or what? And that was going back to like having to pause because they talk so fast, especially when the master is introducing himself. What do you say? Kamo Tatse Sumino Kami, God of Shimano Resident Shrine, something like that. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I like replayed it like 3 times. Like, what the fuck did he say so fast? Oh my god, he's going off like machine gun. But I was like, so he said when he was introducing himself that he was going to match Akashi with either Ozu or the main character. I was like, I didn't really get that inclination, but they kind of Ozu, Watashi, and Akashi were always in the same circle. So yeah, I could see why that was a thing, but I still don't, I kind of wish they went into what is causing the time loop. I guess he is a god, not just a student, right? That's like the main thing that I wanted to know more about. But it's just one of those things that's up for your imagination. Not everything has to be explained to you. Not everything has to be explicitly said. You could just leave it to the ether.
Artistically, did you think the anime was done really well?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 10 out of 10. I especially love those scenes where they intermingle like real life. Yeah, real life scenes, but they have like that animated filter over it. That's really nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that's very few times where you see like real 3D film with anime drawn over it. I know they do it a lot.
Yeah, of course, rotoscoping. This felt very not rotoscoping, not lazy at all.
No, this is not rotoscoping.
No, rotoscoping is for people, right?
No, rotoscoping is basically when you take a film, like you film someone dancing and then you draw over it.
Oh, okay.
And so you get fluid movement. What they did was they just took film, used that as the background, and drew anime over the film to match whatever the film was doing in the background.
Isn't that the same thing, kinda?
No. Rotoscoping is basically drawing over someone's movement, so you get fluid movement. But then they take the person out. There's no. You're basically just copying movement.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're just overlaying an anime character on top of a real life background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did you think about I guess it was like a 3 club arc from like episode 6 to 8, where
the bicycle club or the flying club or whatever?
No. It was the one where the main character goes, I guess, out for drinks with a dental hygienist.
Oh, the
Yeah, the one where he's
the English teacher too, or
no, that was an English circle that he was a part of a club.
oh
That was the
right.
one where the dental hygienist was like, "You have to say English with emotion," and the main character was like, just complaining about Ozu the whole time, more showing his true colors. Like he's still not changed. But the thing with where he's, I guess, his libido or his sexual drive with the Johnny the cowboy, man,
Yeah.
that was amazing. I really liked that. And whenever like they would, show masturbating, it would just be like a Johnny on the hamster wheel or something like that.
What really got me was that, so I don't remember exactly which episode, but at the start of those scenes where he's in the English club and he's dating the girl, and then the girl invites him over to her house and he goes in the bathroom, and then the preceding episodes it actually rewinds all the way back to him being in the restroom, which
Alternate
was really
realities.
while in the restroom,
right?
Like specifically splitting off from from that scene specifically, and I was like,
that's his different choices he took in those universes. That's all. Everything prior to that was the same as it was on the first episode.
It is not, because
not entirely. There is they show you the different aspects, because in all of them he had the doll in his
right. That was the preceding ones. Yeah,
right.
That was
but that was still in episode 6 where he went out with the dental hygienist. Because remember, he went back to the room before and the Costello was there and the thank you note.
Yeah, but before that, he.
Do you mean like episode 5? Because that was an entirely different.
He saved Akashi, and then he got hired to protect the doll, which is that's fine.
Oh, that's when they were
one
doing
reality.
The Mochugi man play.
Yeah. He gets hired to watch the doll, and then that is set off in its own timeline loop thing. And then once they go into the dental hygienist, they split into 3 different timelines, one with the doll, one without the doll, and I forgot which one was the last one.
So the first one was the dental hygienist. Then they did the superhero Mochigu man play. They show why he has the doll in his room. I was like, because I distinctly remember being like, why the fuck does he has Joe Gasaki's doll?
Yeah.
Does Joe Gasaki not have one in this parallel universe? I was like, And then they showed it on episode 7 where he gets hired to. It was kind of funny because Joe Gasaki was being, trench coat, face mask on, all discreet, but his fucking window has no blinds on. It's on display for everyone in the world to see. I guess because the doll Kaori has the back to the window, it doesn't matter, right?
I guess it just looks like another person from outside, right?
Right. So episode 6, dental hygienist, 7, doll. And then 8, I believe, was the reading circle. And that's the one where he was embellishing his life to, I guess it was Ozu who was catfishing him. And then it turned out to be like Akashi. Ozu was like, I'm tired of this. This is boring. Here, Akashi, you do my work for me, because they're in that proxy war, right?
Right.
And yeah, that was the end of episode 6. Akashi was like, oh, we're even. I lied about my stuff, you lied about your stuff. I think that would have been a good spot to stop it. But I guess he didn't give her the mascot. The little toy hanging on his light clicker thing.
I think that's the thing that resets time. If he doesn't give that to her, it resets time.
Because he forgets to do it. Obviously, and
he has 2 years. 11. He has 2 years to do it before time rewinds.
Yeah,
and he never does it. Yeah, and I like the ending. He gives it to her. They go out, and that's pretty much the ending.
Yeah, I was super satisfied by that. No need for more.
I mean, they could have this whole anime could have been like 3 episodes. Honestly, they could have cut out the flying club. They could have cut out the dental hygienist. I would have still been fine with the anime. I know they have that in there for like flair and to show like the looping aspect of it, but as a person watching this back to back, it's
why
having
I like
him
it.
Why do you like it?
Go ahead, repeat say your thought, and I'll go back to mine.
I was saying, like, having him reintroduce the same characters 6 times in a row gave me a headache. I was like, why are you reintroducing this character again? Because he reintroduces, I totally get it. He reintroduces Akashi 6 times, but each time she's in a different club. Okay, that makes sense. But just hearing them reintroduce the characters, like, really...
It's always the same relationships. They might or might not know each other. It's just, trying to get to the point where the character evolves. And the frustration of watching each and every episode lead the same way. Like, I thought at some point on episode 8 or something like that, he would eventually, do it. I didn't expect it to be all the way to episode 11. The frustration of the prior 9 episodes is what led me to really like the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Like the last episodes was really enjoyable because of how frustrating the first couple of episodes were. Like the build up, like they were building it up to that. But for me, just watching an anime like this, I know it's not in my wheelhouse, and honestly, you have to be that type of person. Like, it's a very, I don't want to say like not a lot of people will like it, but that's the feeling I get, is that this anime is very niche, and you have to be the type of person that likes Japanese wordplay, and
I think you can enjoy it without, but I'm sure there's wordplay that
there's a lot of wordplay.
Yeah,
yeah.
Probably.
Like, even the character's name is wordplay.
He doesn't have a name.
Exactly.
At all.
That's
just Watashi.
That's the wordplay. Watashi, me.
They just
right. That's a wordplay.
Well, his name is not literally Watashi. They never name him on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the wordplay. Like, if let's say you're coming into this and
why is
you really don't really get the whole, like,
why is it wordplay? Because whenever you're saying a sentence like watashi wa sanguche kudasai, I don't know.
It's basically like, I do this, I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think about Japanese.
Like, it doesn't translate over very well to English.
Did you see it dubbed or did you see it subbed?
I saw it subbed.
Okay, I saw it subbed too. Is there even a dub for this? I don't think there.
It'd be very hard to dub something like this because of the wordplay. But how do you, like, the main challenge of dubbers is to fit dialogue that
they talk super fast in this one.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, this would be so impossible to dub just because their mouth moves so fast and the dialogue hits you so fast. Like, the person writing the dialogue to fit all that scene, it'd be doable, but it'd be very challenging. And I feel like the person who can do this, you'd have to spend several hours trying to fit, like, the perfect word into this perfect, sentence.
I really liked how the author plugged another work of his, or I don't know if it's a real book, but remember when, I think it was the Reading Club or maybe one of the other episodes, but he was like, "Oh, I like this book, you should read it." No, it was definitely the one where Ozu was catfishing. the Reading Club, where he's like, "Oh, you should check this book out." And in the book there's like an address from the previous owner. I think the book was by the same author. Like, it just struck me, like, why would they mention this? Because I saw Morimi Tomihiko was the author of a book called Walk on Girl, and that's the name of the writer of the story. Well, right. Tomihiko Morimi is the writer of the story, along with Makoto Ueda.
I mean, if you're the author, why not? Why not? If you want to plug in your stuff in your own work, why not?
Addendum. That's a different novel that they did, Tatami Time Machine Blues. I'm getting tongue-tied with the Tatamis. It was just Tomihiko Morimi, though, the author of this anime.
Honestly, I feel like I don't have anything else to say about this anime. Like, rating-wise...
No, hold on, we can't rate it the same way out of 10. How many tatamis out of 5?
Let's use the
4.5 out of 5 tatamis for me.
2 tatamis for me.
I'll go with the named tatami type that the character really likes.
Two galaxies out of 5 galaxies for me.
I'm sticking
4 tatamis out of 5 tatamis for you.
4.5 tatami out of 5 tatami.
That's very, you're rating this a 9 out of 10 technically.
Nah, to be honest, I only wanted to rate it that just because that's what they said in one of the episodes. He rated something 4.5 out of 5 tatamis or something like that, but really 8 out of 10, 5
That's
out of 10.
very high.
Yeah, it was really good.
Was it like that good to rate it 8?
Well, it
like,
was in my
me?
wheelhouse. And
Yeah,
I honestly
I
didn't expect it to be a romance show at all. That's why I chose it. I didn't even look at the I strictly went on the art style. That's how I picked this show for this week.
yeah, for me it's like maybe a 4, maybe a 5 at best. Like I did not enjoy it because
Yeah,
it's
I feel
not the type of anime. Yeah, it's not the type of like you'd have to really be invested. Like
I understand it because for
Yeah.
like ReZero, I really would never ever watch it in a marathon. I would watch it weekly, but not in a marathon.
Right.
I'm not super big on time loops, but when it's a 11 episode anime, that's a short amount of time. It's still a few hours, but it's not like God knows how many episodes ReZero has. Several seasons worth. But this is nice and
it
short.
only has like 2 seasons, right? 2 or 3 seasons.
I don't remember, dude.
But it's not. They're not time looping back to the very beginning.
Repeating
They're
time over
looping.
and over again.
Yeah, but it's technically not the same thing as Tatami Galaxy. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just different shades of life. That one's different possibilities for the character to take to get to his final objective.
Yeah, like for this anime, you have to like certain Japanese jokes. Like they make a lot of like Japanese joke references. And then you also have
if they did, it flew over my head completely because I did not catch anything.
there's a couple. Like,
me and my garbage tier Japanese speaking ability.
You have to like the art style. Like the art style can turn a lot of people off because I feel like
that's what turned me off in the 10 years ago when I was trying to watch it.
Like there's a lot of flashing art in your face, so
yeah,
be warned about that. There's a lot of flashing art, and then you have to be able to enjoy fast dialogue and a lot of dialogue because a lot of this is the character rambling about himself and the stuff that's going around him. Like when I talk about a lot of dialogue, it's probably like Death Note tier, like maybe even more than that. Like when they're just talking.
I don't think so. This was I never really had to press pause on Death Note. For this one, I did just because I don't know if the timing was short or what.
Did you watch Death Note in sub or dub?
Sub, always for that one.
With sub, there's so much dialogue and there's so many translator notes and I was like, oh my god, slow down.
If there was TNs, I would definitely pause, but I didn't for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed this. It was very calming and ultimately I was left extremely satisfied, as I was by Evangelion to a greater extent.
Yeah, I mean, the most I take away from this is how good the opening and ending were. That's what I took away. Like, yeah,
dude,
a great opening and ending.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's another reason why I said this show, because I have this one on my playlist ever since the show came out. I was like, yeah, I'll watch. What's the ending theme? What's the opening theme? That's how I remembered
it. I just know the opening theme was by
Asian Kung Fu Generation.
Yeah, not their catchy song, but still a pretty damn good song. The ending theme had a really, like, that's one thing I have to give it, is it has, like, A, the song was really good and it's really catchy, and B, the animation for it is really cool. It's very awesome. It's basically just a room layout that's being swapped around, and
it's the parallel universes of the Tatami that the character is going through in the last 2 episodes.
Right, but if you've never watched the anime and you're just seeing
I didn't get it till I got to the last episode. Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Oh, like you didn't know that there were like rooms with open dours and stuff.
No,
like
I didn't know that's why they did it until the end.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, and like
Kami-sama no Iutori is the name, as God dictates, by Junji Ishiwatara and Yoshinori Sunahara and Etsuko Yakushimaru.
I'm very surprised that this was done by Madhouse. Pretty good on them.
Madhouse is always the psychological show. Madhouse's wheelhouse, right?
Madhouse is known for that.
Yeah, I didn't. It's like, yeah, this is fucking Madhouse. I fucking knew it. That's what I saw. I was like, oh, these motherfuckers, of course.
Yeah, it's Madhouse. I mean, they did Death Note too, right?
Right. So, and didn't they do Paranoia Agent, or was that Genion or something like that?
I don't. I mean, Madhouse has that type of flair to them. Like did you know they also did Monster? I'm currently watching Monster, so they did Monster.
Psychological. You know.
I love their psychological stuff. So that's like Madhouse. Like they're just big on like doing like I feel like they don't have a genre. They just kind of do whatever they want, like whatever makes feels like it's big for them, I guess. Right?
I appreciate them for that because they're doing really solid work and have done. Legendary company, man.
I mean, they did Chiaifuru too, so
that's garbage. Just because you like it, it's garbage. I'm just kidding.
Just because I like it, it's garbage.
I need to finish it though. I'm still stuck on the last one of that. But yeah, I think this was a good entry for the 31st episode. What show are you? Yeah. We still got to think about what we're gonna watch in the future. It's gonna be your turn.
I'll pick something.
Don't pick anything like the one you picked like last time. Like this anime? Well, I picked this one thinking it wasn't going to be like the one you picked, but it turned out being very similar.
Like it's not. I want something that's enjoyable to watch. That okay. What was it? God's House or whatever.
Right. God's Family.
I thought it was going to be enjoyable. Yeah, God's Family. I thought it was gonna be enjoyable to watch, but God, the story was just awful. Like it had one.
I kind of chose something similar, not knowing God's romance,
right?
With throwing a time loop in there, which Kamizawa Kazuko also kind of had because they, cleared time. I was like, oh fuck. I basically chose the same thing as you did, just on another level.
Like same plot story.
Parallel universe right there.
Yeah, okay, so for me, for this anime, if you want to watch it. I don't recommend it as maybe it's not the anime I would recommend to someone who's like, hey, I want to get into anime. What anime should I watch? I'm like, Tatami Galaxy. Watch that.
Don't fucking watch that at all.
Don't do that.
This is like someone, if you're in the mood for this type of
not even. I feel like if someone's like, let's say they what would be like an adjacent anime they watch and they're like, hey, I just watched X anime, what would you recommend me? And then Tatami Galaxy would be the anime you recommended. But what adjacent anime would that be?
The only thing I could think about was Evangelion, because I had the same sort of feelings at a couple of things regarding the main character, but I don't want to go into that because you still haven't seen the fucking last movie somehow.
I think the closest anime I could say that maybe would be adjacent to Tatami Galaxy was like Arikara Under the Bridge.
I could see the parallels.
I can't think of,
but that was mostly gag. This is like gags, but the main focus is character.
But that's the thing. I can't think of any other anime that they would watch and then ask for a recommendation that'd be close to it.
Yeah. Well, you just had to explore and watch, which we did with this one, and I enjoyed it. And you didn't.
Basically. Yeah, like if someone's asking you for a recommendation, just ask them what they like. This won't be one of their first recommendation unless they're telling you like, I like those bizarre. I chose stuff.
This because I've seen a lot of
just art, right? Just based on the art.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see.
And
that.
the ending theme from a long time ago that's on my playlist. But this is just like, because we've been through pretty much fucking everything, and like we're like at the point where not much old content that we didn't watch unless it's from like the 80s or something like earlier.
Right. I mean, I think it's funny that you chose it based on the opening and ending. I chose God's Family or whatever based on the same thing on the opening and ending because they were really catchy.
Well, that's how you pick up a book at the bookstore, right? By the cover and the synopsis.
Yeah, by the cover. Right. All right. I guess that's it for this episode for Tatami Galaxy. Any final words for it?
Nah. Enjoyed it or not. Your choice.
All right, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.